I have these 4 girlfriends that I've had for over 2 decades. Between the 5 of us, we all live in different states. And so once a year, we get together to have a little vacation together and to have time together because these people are basically my sisters. And so now that's kind of a built-in thing that I'm excited about because, yes, it gets sad as the holidays progress, but the holidays progressing also mean that I'm going to get to see some of my best friends, and that's really cool. This is part 2 of episode 84 of the Harness the Power of Planning podcast, where I talk about ways that I enter my new year with excitement. And if you want to hear more about the Danish that I mentioned, you're just going to have to listen to part 1 because that's where I talk about sewing up the end of my year. But part 2, starting now. So hello, happy Thursday. I'm Alegre of Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, or BYWD. BYWD is on a mission to help you prioritize yourself by teaching you to save time and energy, because there's little bits of time and energy that get lost in the day. And it's so important for you to figure out where they are and be able to spend them on yourself. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, great. I'm glad that you can hear. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go back then and just rewind. So I've started picking a quote from this box of quotes that I have on my desk that I love. And I always pick from the back, so I have no idea what's going to come. But the quote that I picked today is this one. Life brings simple pleasures to us every day. It is up to us to make them wonderful memories. And I was saying that once a week for years now, some friends of mine and I have been doing this hike. And we started doing it for health reasons, to get in more steps. However, some of my friends then started having school-age children, and they had to do the hike early enough so that they could do school drop-off. And so we started going earlier and earlier, and then we started coinciding with sunrise because we didn't want to hike in the dark. And we're like, okay, what time is sunrise? We'll plan the hike for sunrise. And what happened was this hike that started out being about getting in more steps and spending time with friends started being about seeing the sunrise, because there's just something about a sunrise that just really wakes you up and makes you feel alive. And I was an anthropology major in undergrad. And so I always think about how we evolve to live. And, one of the reasons why a lot of people suffer from inability to sleep well is because we have all this artificial light around us. But we're designed to wake up when the sun comes up and go to sleep when the sun goes down. And so I've realized that there's just something about seeing a sunrise that just makes me feel not just awake, but alive. And some of my friends, we like it so much that we've started doing the sunrise hike twice a week now. And it definitely is invigorating. And so, as Kathy Allen says, there are simple pleasures every day, but we have to turn them into wonderful memories. By seeing the sunrise, by making it part of a hike and time with friends, it definitely is a wonderful memory. It's definitely a highlight of my week, something I look forward to. I'd love to get to the point where I'm doing it almost every day because I love it that much. So if you have simple pleasures that you turn into wonderful memories, I'd love to hear about them. And by the way, if for some reason you can't stay with us the whole part of this live chat that I'm doing, I do put this up as the Harness the Power of Planning podcast, the recorded video and audio. So you can always go see it later, or you can go watch it on YouTube. But you can also comment at any time because I do get the comments, whether it's live or recorded. So today's topic, and I have a couple of topics, but it's all about sewing up the year that we are in, the year that's coming to an end, and preparing for the new year. And I know some of you are like, wait a second. It's not even December 26th yet, right? So Christmas hasn't happened, Hanukkah hasn't happened, whatever you might be celebrating for the winter holidays might not have happened yet. However, this podcast is called the Harness the Power of Planning podcast for a reason, because I have found in my life that with planning, everything is easier, and almost everything is possible. Like I can do way more when I plan. A lot of times the reason I'm able to do more is because when I plan, I don't get distracted. So I stay on task and focus, and I can get everything that needs to happen done rather than, what should I do? Oh, look at that shiny object over there. I'm going to go spend time with that. That's the power of planning. And so, even though I know it's a little bit early, we still have a couple weeks left in this year. But what I want to do is give you some steps to think about so that next week, when, you know, whatever holiday you celebrate might be over, you can start thinking about the end of your year. So, I'm planting the seed a little bit early so that you're ready. Okay. So, here's the thing about the new year. I love the holidays. Witness my little holiday bauble earrings that my mom gave me when I was a teenager. So they're about 35 years old or something like that. Love these. So I love the holidays. And because I love the holidays, I used to get a little depressed around January 1st because what's there to look forward to? Taxes, right? Like I have to get my taxes together. That's not fun. And so I started thinking about how can I get excited about the new year? So, as I mentioned, let's consider this part 2 of today's stream. So, part 2 is about how you can be excited about the new year. And as I said, I can get a little depressed. And so something as simple as a holiday dish like this Danish gives me something exciting to look forward to. I know it's a total mind game, but in reality, isn't like 90% of life a mind game? It's figuring out how your mind works and how you can get it to do what you want to do. And my goal is to be excited about the new year. And so having a Danish on January 1st is one of the ways that I look forward to the new year. It can be that simple. So maybe there's a favorite dish you like to make. Maybe there's a favorite restaurant you like to eat. Have something to look forward to in the new year. So make a reservation, buy tickets for something. I actually have a couple of things coming up in the new year. I have an event that I'm going to in January that I've never attended before, but I've been thinking about for a long time. I bought a ticket to that. And by the way, I'm just going by myself. My husband and daughter aren't going because they don't want to. But this is something I want to do. So, moms, if you just want to do it for yourself, I give you permission to do that. You can. Going out by yourself, that's great. And I'm actually going with some other friends who are also interested in this thing. So we got tickets to go to this historical dance that's happening in January. And so we're doing that. And then I actually have a trip already planned with some girlfriends. You might have heard me talk about that before. I have these 4 girlfriends that I've had for over 2 decades. Actually, one of the friends I've known since I was 11. So we get together. They no longer live near me. 3 of them used to live in the LA area. No one lives in the same state. Like between the 5 of us, we all live in different states. And so once a year we get together on to have a little vacation together and to have time together because these people are basically my sisters. And so we already have a trip. We've actually found that early February is a great time to do a trip for us because it doesn't interfere with any school schedules or any school activities. So we've been getting together in early February regularly. And so now that's kind of a built-in thing that I'm excited about because yes, it gets sad as the holidays progress, but the holidays progressing also mean that I'm going to get to see some of my best friends and that's really cool. So find some things that you can be excited about. It can be as simple as a Danish on the 1st of January. It can be getting tickets or making a reservation to something that you've been wanting to do, or it doesn't even have to be anything new. It can just be a favorite place of yours. We all have places that we love going that we think to ourselves, God, why don't I do this more? Okay, that place that you thought of when I said, why don't you do this more? Go to that place. That's how I feel about my hike, my sunrise hike. I do it once a week and I think, why don't I do this more? Oh, okay, I can do this more. Yes, it requires a little rearranging of the schedule, but it is possible. So whatever that thing is that you think, I should do this more, make a reservation, plan to do that, And then that's something that you get to look forward to in the new year. And it makes such a difference having some things that are exciting to think about. Another thing that I like to do around this time of year to help me feel excited about the new year is, let's say that there's something I've been wanting to work on. It could be eating healthier, getting in more movement. It could be doing more creative activities. I like to start doing that thing the end of December, because then it feels like I'm establishing a habit. And once the new year comes, I'm just going to run with it. And it kind of takes away that pressure of being a quote unquote New Year's resolution. I actually don't make resolutions. I'm kind of always thinking about things that I want to be doing better, because that's my goal in life, is to become my best self and to share that with the world. And so I don't think about resolutions. However, if there's something that I've been wanting to work on, then I will start doing it towards the end of the year. And, the planner that I use has what's called a habit tracker in it. And this is one of the things that we recommend in the Pick a Perfect Planner podcast. I really recommend that you have something that has a habit tracker, which a habit tracker is as simple as this. It's literally just the days of the week with boxes for you to check off when you've done whatever the thing is that you want. This one is pre-filled with gratitude, meditation, and exercise. But then the rest of the spaces, you just write in what you want there. Drinking more water, talking to friends, making 5 sales calls a day, writing 1,000 words, drawing 1 cartoon, whatever the thing is that you want to work on. Habit trackers are a great way to do that. And so if there's something that I want to be working on, I will put it into my habit tracker and I will start working on it now, so that by the time the new year rolls around, I'll have been doing it for 1 to 2 weeks already. And then it's just kind of something I'm going to be doing. And it's something that I can just enter the new year with excitement and momentum, because I am making progress on this thing that I've said I wanted to work on. So that's the second part of the podcast, entering the new year with momentum. Now, next week's podcast is going to be audio only, recorded only. I'm not going to be doing a live cast because of the holidays, but I do just want to give a little plug for the podcast that I'm going to broadcast, because it is a topic that, for as long as I've had this podcast, it has always been my most listened to audio. And it's only about 6 minutes long. And it's all about a simple way that you can release the old so that you can embrace the new. Because, I love this saying that if your arms are too full of the past, you can't embrace the new. And it's true. We only have a certain amount of time, a certain amount of brain space or attention to devote to things. And so I do think that it's really a powerful thing to decide what you're letting go of, so that you can embrace whatever the new year has to bring you. And so that will be next week's short rebroadcast. So look for that wherever you get your podcast. Look for the Harness the Power of Planning podcast that I'm going to put up next week, because, as I said, it's always been one of the most popular that I put up. And as I mentioned, because setting up my planner is such a big part of preparing for the new year, check out the How to Pick a Perfect Planner, which is episode 77.2, which means that it's the second half of episode 77. So you can listen to a whole episode, or you can just listen to 77.2, or you can click this QR code that's showing up right above me. I don't know if you can see this arrow as I'm dancing around the QR code. I'm mousing over it and I can see it, but I don't know if you can see it. But check out that planner and Pick a Perfect Planner, because there is something wonderful about going through the process of setting up a planner. And maybe that's the thing you want to work on. Maybe you want to become a better planner in the new year. Getting a planner and setting it up and starting to use it is a great way to establish that habit and to enter the new year with this new momentum of planning. Thanks so much for joining us. I will see you in the new year. And as always, dream wild, wild dreamers. Thanks for joining us for the Harness the Power of Planning podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen.